It started with a text that didn't even need words. I saw her name flash on my phone, and when I opened it, there was nothing from her. Just the notification from a messaging app one didn't recognize. My stomach sank in a way I hadn't felt in years, that slow, hollow ache that makes your chest feel like it's folding in on itself. Something was wrong. I tried to convince myself it was nothing. Maybe I was imagining things. She had always been busy, stressed with work, deadlines piling up. But over the past few months, little things had begun to feel off. Missed calls I brushed aside as being in a meeting, disappearing for hours with vague explanations, a laugh at her phone screen that she quickly tried to hide. I told myself I was overreacting, that maybe I was losing my mind. Then came the party. A small gathering of friends, nothing special, but I noticed the way she moved. Her attention constantly elsewhere, eyes darting to a man I didn't recognize. They talked, laughed, leaned in a little too close. My heart started hammering, but I told myself it wasn't real. Surely I was imagining it. Days later, the first undeniable proof arrived. A message she hadn't meant to leave open, visible on a shared tablet. Can't wait to see you again tonight. I love the way you make me feel. My world narrowed to the words on that screen. I stared at them until my vision blurred, my hands trembling, mind racing. That laughter, that late night disappearing, the soft whispers that weren't meant for me, they weren't accidents. I didn't know what to do at first. Part of me wanted to confront her immediately, to scream, to demand answers. Another part of me froze, unsure if my heart could survive the truth. I replayed every memory, searching for signs I'd ignored. The extra care she gave him when we were all together, the sudden interest in places I'd never visited, the way she smiled differently, not at me but with him. Each recollection stung like tiny precise cuts. Finally I confronted her. We were in the living room, the evening light casting long shadows on the walls. I saw the messages, I said, voice steady though my hands shook. I know what's been happening. Her eyes filled with tears, but there was no fear, no denial. Only a strange mixture of guilt and relief. I didn't mean for it to go this far, she whispered. I felt alive again. I wanted to argue, to cry, to beg. But as I looked at her, really looked, I realized something. This wasn't about punishment or revenge. This was about truth, even if it hurt. And the truth was clear. She had chosen someone else. Not because I failed, not because I didn't love her, but because her heart had wandered in a way I couldn't follow. The night stretched endlessly. I thought about the years we had shared, the late-night talks, the quiet breakfasts, the arguments we thought were so important at the time. Each memory now had a shadow, a lingering question. Had she ever truly been mine? I could feel myself breaking in tiny increments, but there was also clarity. I couldn't force her to love me, and I couldn't stay in a life half-shared, haunted by the person she had become. So I made a decision. Not out of anger, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. I packed a bag, gathered the things I needed, and walked away. I didn't slam doors. I didn't yell. I simply left, each step deliberate, carrying the weight of heartbreak but also the quiet strength of someone who knew when to let go. In the days that followed, I learned to live in the silence she had left behind. I walked past places that reminded me of us, and let the memories fade without letting them define me. There was pain, yes, an ache that settled deep in my chest, but also freedom. I realized that loving someone doesn't mean sacrificing yourself when they no longer choose you. Months later, I can walk through the world without the constant shadow of betrayal. I've rebuilt myself slowly, carefully, learning that trust, once broken, can teach more than it can take away. And though I still remember the sting of her choice, I also remember the quiet power of walking away, because sometimes the greatest act of love you can give yourself is knowing when to leave. And in that knowledge I found peace.